Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. This is another Tag Tuesday, and I have chosen to participate in the 6-0 tag. I don't know what it's fully called, but it's basically celebrating decades of reading. So there are 6 questions. One, what is the comfort read that you will never outgrow? I would like to say probably, universally it would be The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. It's a children's book, but it's always like a comfort read for me. But I also would pick Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. And so I actually read this book back to back 3 times because I only had access to one book. I didn't have any more, and I didn't think I would have time to read. And it's a thin book, so I thought, well, I always bring a book. But I ended up having extra time and nothing else to do, so I just read it over and over and over and never got sick of it. And the movie is just as good. It's written in letters, dear friend, as he's trying to navigate his way, through life. So coming of age story, trying to make friends, trying to understand this past that he doesn't quite get. There's a huge revelation that still it still affects me. I still think about it often. I didn't see it coming. And then it also has one of my favorite quotes, especially in the movie, where you accept the love you think you deserve. And there's a lot of thoughtfulness in this book that I really, really enjoy. And there's actually a storyline within the book that is not included at all in the movie that I actually preferred in the book. So if you only watch the movie, please pick up the book. Number 2, what is a book that you that was published in the decade you were born? So I chose one that's been on my TBR that kind of resonates with today, and that's The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Enough said. It's I keep needing to read it, but it sort of reminds me too much of what is going on in the United States today that I have not picked it up. I need to, though. 3, what is the book that you would rate 6 stars in a 5-star rating system? And I'd probably pick East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Not only is it really good, I think about it often. It's got great characters. It's very deep. You can think about it in so many different of the storylines. It's also immensely quotable. There's a lot of life lessons in there. There's a lot of important things to kind of digest. And it has one of my favorite villains of all time in Kathy. She's very, very evil. And then number 4, what is a favorite book from your 6 most read genres? This one was a little harder. So for classics, I would have to, it would either be Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas or The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. They are both excellent for different reasons. Count of Monte Cristo, the depth and intricacy within that book is outstanding, and I've never read anything like it. The Picture of Dorian Gray is so well done, but also immensely quotable as well. The second one would be contemporary, and I'm going to have to go with Beartown by Frederick Bachman. The whole trilogy has been my favorite read this year. Young adult. So for recency bias, it would be Don't Let the Forest In by C.J. Drews. But it also would be either The Firekeeper's Daughter or Sisters in the Wind, which they're a series, so it's a sequel to each other. And that's by Angeline Bowley. Fantasy. Definitely the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. Historical. This one was really hard. I read a lot of historical fiction, but some of it I was trying to say I would have to be something. A lot of the historical fiction is classified as historical, but they wrote it not far off from when it actually happened. And so this one I chose is actual historical fiction. He wrote it about a time way beyond him. So it's I, Claudius by Robert Graves. I loved that book. It was one of my favorite reads last year. It's the Roman Empire. So Claudius, a relative of Nero, and all the craziness within that family. He basically, Nero would have been his, step adoptive son or whatever, and then also like a great nephew or something, because that family's so messed up. So he's the one who Nero essentially kills Claudius, or his mom does, and takes the reins. But you get to understand that that time period, and it's really actually witty and funny, because Claudius is a really interesting character to have it about, at least within this story. I know he was definitely not that likable in real life, but within the story, he was very amusing to listen to. In nonfiction, Endurance by Alfred Lansing will always be my favorite nonfiction book. I love the Ernest Shackleton story, the survival of that huge shipwreck. And yeah, if you want a true adventure story, definitely get your hands on that one. And number 5, what is the book you knew you would love even before you opened it? That would also be Beartown. I had the book for years, and I almost the opposite. I almost worried that my expectations for it were so high that I kept putting it off. But it had all the ingredients that I knew I would love. It's coming of age story. It features a small town. It features sports, which I absolutely love sports. And then it features a great family dynamics, character development, and this tragedy that happens to a young girl, and how the town essentially tears itself apart, whether in support or against her and her family. So I knew that all the ingredients for something I would love would be there. And so it did not disappoint when I finally picked it up this year and read it. I read all 3 this year. So what is a book that you would recommend to the next generation of readers? So I didn't get into the classics until recently, and my first one was Count of Monte Cristo, and I wish that I had gotten into them sooner, because I have a lot of catch up to do. I think for the next generation, to try to introduce them to the classics, there's so many great options now of remakes of those classics that they could read that would maybe make them want to delve further into the source material. So you have like Demon Copperhead, and then they could go to David Copperfield. You have a really great collection called Remix Classics that are retelling the classics for modern audiences by either having gender swap roles, your race, a new race mentioned, or even you have LGBT rep, and so they feel more accessible because they're actually representing society instead of being all written by, mostly white men and some white women about white men and women. So being able to access them in a society that is more diverse, and having them love the remakes might make them go back into trying to see, like I said, the source material, and hopefully being able to recognize all that came before, and to see how far we have come. And hopefully that would make them, lifelong readers, and also respect the classics for what they are and what they've given us, even though some of them don't age as well as others. The ones that I have read and fell in love with are definitely worth exploring. So however you can get kids there, I would recommend it. Anyway, these are my contributions to this DAG, and I hope that I give you something to think about. If anyone wants to participate, I didn't get tagged in this. I just saw it floating around and I loved the question, so I wanted to participate. So if you want to do the same, I would love to hear what you have to say in regards to these. Thank you and have a great day.